Do not play about my money, especially when I don't want to fucking be here. Hey guys, I'm Justine Janelle, and I'm a wellness anthropologist as well as a blogger on my website, definefeminine.com. If you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and let me know your thoughts once we get to the end down below. I would love to hear from you and get to know the people that are actually watching my video. It does really help. So I don't know if y'all don't know, but like it really does help. Like I love interacting with people and being able to respond to comments. So let's keep the conversation going down below. There's a lot of things that I'm talking about in this video, and I'd love to hear your feedback, because you know, like when you're making videos, you can easily feel like you're talking to yourself. So like when you're able to like have a comment and you're able to respond, it kind of keeps the dialogue going. But either way, this video is all about 1 year of me moving to Texas with my partner. I've seen a few videos on YouTube about people talking about their experience about living here after a year, and they discuss mostly like, you know, pricing and where to live and like pretty much how it is living here. I think I came across one video with this girl talking about like she's living here with her partner, but this video is not really about me and my partner. It's more so about my mental health throughout the different stages of living here. So I just wanted to bring the wellness aspect to this topic, because I think a lot of people talk about moving to a new city and, you know, like just doing it because you just want a new life and stuff like that, but they don't really break down the different stages of what that comes with. You know, getting jobs, finding your community, finding the right apartment, and also finding the right neighborhood that you want to live in, because that's also important. All these different things makes up of your wellness, and I think it's important to be able to highlight these things, especially when you're thinking about moving to somewhere that you're not from. I'm just gonna do a little makeup routine, or I wouldn't say routine. I kind of want to get a little crazy with it and do something a little different from what I've been doing lately. So hope you guys enjoy this video. So I kind of wrote down like a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about in this video in my notes. So I'm just going to refer to this so I can kind of like just stay on track on the different topics that I wanted to bring up. Well, there were a few videos on YouTube regarding people talking about their experience living in Texas a year later. Obviously, it's mainly people that are moving from other states. So I went for a dive and I was looking at the different videos, and everybody was pretty much talking about like traffic and rent and where to live and all that great stuff. But I really want to talk about living here from a mental point of view, because I don't know if you guys know, I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm so sorry. I'm Justine Janelle, and I'm a wellness anthropologist as well as a blogger. And if you're wondering what a wellness anthropologist, who is texting me? If you're wondering what a wellness anthropologist is, it's someone that dives deep into human behavior from a wellness standpoint, whether it's mental health, physical health, whatever you can make it your own. That's how I look at wellness. It's the well-being of a human being. So I just wanted to speak about that in a recap form, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's talk about mental health. Yesterday was suicide prevention day, and this is also self-improvement month. So this month is filled with a lot of different I guess you can say events, or like, you know, just the world's kind of bringing more awareness to things that truly matter, especially when it comes to human nature. There's some people here that don't want to be here. So let's start with that. I felt like that when I was living in New York. I truly felt like my wellness was just not anywhere near that. I feel like it was tangible to be, you know, to be like a sustainable human being. Rent was super high. I was always getting into conflicts with my landlord. You know, I was having to hustle a lot. And, you know, 2020 hustling, you know, was pretty much what people were doing in 2020 is what I've been doing since 2016. Like, I've been hustling, and like I kind of don't take pride in that. I don't really like that aspect of myself, but I am proud that I did do it. But it did take a toll on my overall well-being, and I just didn't feel like that's the way that I wanted to you know, live my life. So, you know, I was pushed out of my apartment basically because they were trying to raise my rent a lot more, and I just couldn't deal. Like I just felt like it just wasn't worth it. And you know, just having the business, it sounds good in theory, but like owning a business, having to deal with customers and having to have them in your house and stuff like that was just not conducive to my well-being. A lot of people even was like, oh, like maybe you should let me move my mirror over a little bit. I can see better from this side. A lot of people were like, you should get a, booth, to do hair, because most hairstylists have booths. But for me, I didn't want a booth because I just really liked working out of my home, and I just felt like the energy would be so much more different. Like, I'm really big on having intimate spaces with women, obviously not in a sexual manner, so that they can feel comfortable, and not feel like people are in their business, or things start to get real mixy once you're in a salon. I don't know how salon culture is now, but by the looks of a lot of videos on TikTok, it's not going well. I feel like I exited out at the perfect time. And I made a full video about this topic as a whole, so I'm not gonna get into why I moved any deeper because we already went through that. And I'm like so happy that I'm able to sit down and make this video, honestly, because it's not easy to rip off the band-aid and move to a new town. It really takes a lot of balls to do so. And I was able to even move with my partner, which is something that I wanted to do the first time I moved to Texas. So if you guys are new to my channel, I moved to Texas back in 2018. I personally moved here with no family, with no boyfriend, with no job, no nothing. Like, nothing was promised. So it was really a big step for me. And I think once I was presented the opportunity to move back, it all fell in place. The transition wasn't as hard as the first time, mainly because I wasn't doing it by myself. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about, having like a 360 moment, or even doing something that is really challenging. Just having a partner by your side really makes it amazing. That's pretty much my like initial thoughts on the topic. So let's get into let's see, what do I have next on the list? Alrighty, so the moving process. The moving process was definitely challenging because I had to let go of a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. Like, I pretty much, and I feel like everything just worked out in its favor. Like, I left a lot of my clothes, I gave a lot of them away, I gave a lot of my shoes away, I gave all of my jackets away, like everything that is not needed here, I left in New York. It really taught me how to let go. It was very interesting to see how much I've like evolved within this year's time, and it's because I've done so many different things. I've experimented, but I was also more logical because I am more like mature in mentality. Like, I didn't make a lot of the same mistakes that I've made the first time around, like I didn't come out here alone because I just know that the cost of living versus the amount of money that they pay with these jobs down here when you don't have a career slash degree, it would not make sense. I will be literally living in a studio in the middle of nowhere. And it's okay when you're in your hometown, but when, like, I could do that in New York if I had the opportunity to. But it does not make sense to do that somewhere where you're not from, because personally, I think I think I deserve better. The apartment is not big. Like, this apartment is actually smaller than my last apartment. And I think because of the timing that we were moving, and the level of desperation that we had at that time, we just took anything that was given to us. Like, we were happy with the price because it was way cheaper than New York. It just made sense. Like, it was available, like, I truly feel like everything happens for a reason, so I don't regret moving here. It's just not the best. So that's all I got to say on that. I truly feel like if anybody was to move here, you got to be very particular about what you really want, because you can definitely just get anything. There's so many options. You could get an apartment for $700, and you're gonna get the roaches and the chip paint and the shooting next door. Like, you're gonna get that, but you're gonna get it for a price that works out in your favor. But everything else that goes on is not gonna be in your favor. So that's one of the things that I had to learn the first time around. So the second time around, I was very particular, but I also wasn't as detailed in terms of space because of the fact that I needed to go, and I just wanted something that was decently priced. I hope you're following me. So figuring out where to live was definitely interesting. There's so many different parts of Houston that I've been to and I still don't know the name of, but I've passed through the towns and I'm like, oh, okay, like this is here, but like I don't remember the difference between each city and town. So um figuring out where to live has a lot to do with your lifestyle. I think I'm very comfortable with living on the outskirts of Houston, but at the same time, I'm still very young and I want to be able to do things with young people and young black people. So the young black people are not over here. That was my mistake moving on this side of town. A lot of people that I'm meeting, all the cool people, do not live on this side. So I definitely will be moving soon. And that's the reason why I'm making this video, because I'm moving. I think that figuring out where you want to live has a lot to do with your lifestyle and what you're trying to do. So if you're the type of person that you enjoy doing a lot of like, if you enjoy a lot of family oriented events, you would do really well in the outskirts of Houston because they have a lot of those. But if you're the type of person that like going to the club and going to all the cool restaurants and finding all the cool activities, you're definitely going to have to live closer to downtown or midtown because you would be driving for a really long time. I'm still not driving here. Like I drive locally, but I don't drive long distances because of how people drive here. And I just know I'm just not that skilled to be dodging bullets like that. Like no pun intended. I'm just not that good. So I just choose not to drive. So my man be driving. So yeah, I have became the my man because personally, I love my life and I feel more safer if someone else is driving. So that's that. Like a lot of people, they think of the South as a place where you just move down here and you get a house. No, no, because houses cost money and they also have to be maintained. And I'm just not that type of woman as yet. So until I get to that point, I'm just not there. And we just gonna rock it out with these apartments because we have so many different options. Like you don't have to box yourself in and feel as if you got to make these huge commitments when you're not ready. So that's something that I definitely learned and it's helped me to like really enjoy my experience being here because who the fuck cares? Like people don't be in your house, like nobody cares. Like if you have to sit on the floor for a few months, like fuck it. Like I don't understand why people put that pressure on themselves to have everything all at once. Like I just don't I can't relate. My first job when I moved here was at Ross. I think it was the first time that I worked in retail since I left Forever 21, which was years ago. And I made a video about that on my channel as well. I truly hated working there. I don't know how people work there. There's just no like integrity. Granted, I know it's like a discount store and like people are just trying to get their kids some clothes, but I just feel like clothes be on the floor, like the line be like 30 minutes long. Like it's just so trash. Like if I have to go through all of that just to get a discount, I might as well go to Target. Like it's okay. Like cuz at least they have self-checkout. When I was working there, they used to come to me like first of all I was working there for like I want to say 2 weeks. Like I was there for literally like I think I left the week that I was getting my check, but I ended up leaving like the Wednesday. So everybody gets paid on Friday. I think I left on the Wednesday, bro. And I legit did not get my check for months. Something miraculously happened where they could not find my check because apparently they mailed it to me. And I'm like, bitch, if it's one thing about me, I don't play about my money. Do not play about my money, especially when I don't want to fucking be here. I worked there and it was nice at first because it was my first job moving back here, but I just knew that I deserved better. Like I knew I needed insurance. I knew I wasn't going to make enough money. I knew I was going to feel belittled, but I still worked there because it was a job. And I'm one of those type of people where I'm like, I'd rather have something rather than nothing, especially when it pertains to my money. So like it was there or McDonald's. Honestly, I was like, fuck it. Who's hiring? Pretty much, I worked there, and like I had to. First of all, I was doing stock. It was the first time I ever did stock, and I felt very masculine. Like I know, like we're in a day and age where women can do anything, but I'm just not that type of bitch. Like I'm never going to be the type of person to want to do masculine things. Like I don't want to pick up the heavy ass box. I don't want to. I don't want to chop up the boxes so that y'all can, like, no, I don't want to do that. Literally, I was working there, and I was, like I said, I was doing stock, and then I also ended up doing I ended up doing the fitting room. There was this manager, and she was like 24, and she walked up to me. She was like, "Oh, like, are you a new hire?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, she was like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm a manager, but I'm the coolest manager here. Like the other ones, like fuck them." And I was like that's a crazy intro. I don't even know if I'm gonna really be here like that. So the fact that hold on, the fact that you're cutting up like this is insane to me, because like this is like our first interaction, and you're pretty much shitting on your peers. So like that's already a red flag to me, because I'm like, I don't know you, and you're already going off about the other managers, but you're also a manager too. So it just seems very weird. So then after that, like I just felt weird, because like I was doing like fitting room, and they will come up to me and they're like, "Yeah, look, yeah, we found like 6 sensors on the floor." And I'm like, I do not give a fuck. Personally, if I was in a store and the line was that long and they were moving that slow, and you guys are hiring people for all the other positions besides a cashier, and y'all managers are in the back just chilling while the line is like wrap around the whole store, yeah, I'ma still too. There's no reason why y'all have people waiting in line for 30 minutes for a $10 shirt. Like there's no line for 10 items or less. And if there is, let me know, because even that line be pissing me off. I think one time I went into a Ross that had something like that, and they were like, "No, not you. You come." And I'm like, "See, bitch, you're not gonna fucking piss me off like this, because honestly, I really want this shirt, but I will either put this shit in my bag or fucking put it on the floor where everything else is." Pretty much, I cried on my first day working there, because this lady came up to me, because pretty much when you're working as a fitting room associate, you also have to open up the bathroom, because they don't allow people to go into the bathroom on their own, because of the fact that they don't want people to steal, as if people are not stealing on the floor. So, yeah, that was my first job. I did not like it. I left with the quickness. And I just feel like if anyone is 25 or older, unless you really, 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 like, really, really need a job, I would not work there. I'm sorry. Like, there's no benefits of working at that job. Like, they give you the craziest discount. Like, why would you give me 10% off at a store where things are $10? Give me 50% off. You're paying me this small amount, and then you want the discount to be this small. It's not making sense. I ended up leaving that job. I ended up getting a remote job, which I really loved. This was my first remote job, and this was like a insurance job. So I feel like this was like my big girl job. Girl, I worked at Progressive for, I want to say, like 4 months, 4 months, and I was over it. I was absolutely over it. From the interview process to getting the actual job, I was over it. That job gave me PTSD. I just think mentally, if the job is traumatizing you, leave. Like if you ever feel as if the job is taking over your mental space, then just leave, because the job is not supposed to be that important. It's one factor of your life. It's not the main factor. It's not a career. And I think that's where I'm at, like just a year later, like just going into like the job field. I also do like one thing I did learn like 1 year into living here is that I do love planning events. Like I truly feel like that's one thing that's like been up my sleeve, but I just never really like done it until like I gained the confidence to do it. Cause I'm like, when you start doing events, you don't know who's gonna come. The first time I did an event here, one person came, right? And the people that said they were coming, they said they were coming up until they said that they're not coming, right? It's just all about like you having the confidence to be willing to still show up and still have the right energy to carry out the event, and to not like be so wrapped up in, oh, I need to have 10,000 people here, because it's really quality over quantity for me. It's really been, it's always been that, especially when it comes to things that like, when it comes to like making connection to people, like I don't need 100 friends, but I would love to make 100 connections. Does that make sense? Like, I think making more connections allows you to get different experiences and also to be able to like expand your mind and get out of your head. So, just going back to like making connections, like I'm just gonna stop talking about work because it's depressing. Here with these jobs, go get your degree. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause these jobs are not gonna do it for you. So pretty much, I found myself like always comparing like New Yorkers and like people from Texas, like, oh, like they're not as social, like they don't have like the same personalities, like we don't have the same jokes, like, and it's because it's just a completely different environment. And like I cannot expect that energy from people that grew up in a completely different like reality. Like growing up in New York is traumatizing but still amazing because we develop a very dry sense of humor or like a dark sense of humor in comparison to other places where like it's just not that, and that's okay. Like I don't expect everyone to have the same personality everywhere I go, and I had to really open up myself to, being like, receiving people for who they are. And it's not to say that I'm just allowing anyone in my space, because I'm always going to be selective of who's in my space. I think it's more so about like just giving people grace to like show up for you in ways that you would like, because that's the most important thing. Like I don't need a bitch to be like fucking Cat Williams. Like let me be the funny bitch. Like I need you to be the real bitch. And I think that is what I've always been looking for. And it's been a challenge. I think recently I've gotten to know some people, but like I said, like you really have to give people time to like really show up for you. And it's not a one and done situation. Like it's a consistent effort. It's a, trying to experiment and see what's out there instead of like, you know just automatically just writing things off. And I think when I first got here, I was definitely writing a lot of shit off. I just think it's important to be able to like make connections with people that, want to be in your life, that want to show up for you and they want to support you. And yeah, so that's the reason why like I got on Bumble BFF as of last year. And it literally took me so long to, really find people that are willing. Granted, I've met a lot of people on there, but when I say that, I mean like people that are, because I don't ever want to shit on the connections that I've made, but you have to be willing, right? Like it's not just a, oh, like when I come up with stuff, you come up with stuff. Like being willing is a two-way street. So like people that are like that, where they're like they suggest things, like those are the type of people that like I enjoy, because I'm usually the one to say, oh, like I don't want to be the only person calling the shots. You understand? So it's really nice to be able to meet people that kind of take that initiative, and they're not afraid to be rejected, and they're different ideas of what we can do to, explore each other and get to know each other over time, because that's how friendship is as an adult. Like you're not gonna just, oh, we go out this one time, have a ball, and that's it. Like you kind of have to suggest things and come up with things. And but honestly, a lot of people do not have a capacity to do that. Like it's not as common as what we see on Twitter or what we see on TikTok. I also learned when you spend more time with people, they know you better. So that's one of the reasons why I say, like, when it comes to like, building connections with people, it has to be a consistent basis. Not to say that you got to talk to someone every single day, because that's annoying and I need to kind of live my life and, learn more about myself and explore. But I truly feel like you're never going to know someone if you just meet them one time. Like, bitch, like, who are we? Like, I don't know what this is. So yeah, as far as dating here, I enjoy dating here. I've been in my relationship for 3 years, so dating here is really fun to me. I never get bored. There's always things to do. There's things that I find on Instagram, TikTok. TikTok always be getting me with the different date night ideas. But TikTok, freaking Eventbrite always has a lot of like places where you can go, different events. So there's always options. And I think one of the reasons why I've never felt inclined to leave my relationship, obviously because I love him, but also because of the fact that we're always doing shit. Like, always doing shit with your partner is vital. Like, bestie, where we going? Like, I don't understand why we in the crib just not doing anything for 3 weeks straight. It's just not in my nature to do that. Like, I'll get bored, and honestly, I might not be in a relationship. I think you always have to do stuff. And it's not to say that, oh, this is the ultimatum. Like, we always got to do stuff or I'm leaving. But what I'm saying is just come up with things, even if you're planning ahead for something in the future. Like, I need to know that you're thinking of doing things with me. Like, yeah, let's go to the park. Like, it doesn't have to be these extreme things, but I think men just, they just, not mine, but men out here just be making shit real complicated for women. And I hate that because I just hate to hear like women having to like go through shit that they don't have to go through. Honestly, you truly have to like a person to always be innovative. I think it's important to always be like really active in terms of your relationships so that you're able to find different ways to not feel alone, find different ways to not feel isolated. And as an adult, you can easily sink in your sadness because, like we're just taught to, oh, I don't think people are going to care about that. I don't think that, like we should be talking about all this extra shit or I don't want to be vulnerable. But like, I don't give a fuck about all that. Where is the vulnerability? I need more of that. That's one thing I've learned about like cultivating a community here. Like just being honest about what I come with and who I am is so important because it just kind of like weeds off the people that just don't need to be here. So yeah, overall, I personally feel like Houston is a great place to live. You just have to be very, very particular about how you utilize your time and where you want to place your highest priorities. Personally, I feel like when it comes down to it, one of my highest priorities is making sure that I have space. So that's one of the reasons why I'm being prompted to move. I'm still gonna stay in Houston. I'm probably gonna move into the skirts because I'm in the outskirts. But yeah, I'm gonna move more into the city because I just feel like it's really hard to get to places when you're this far. Also, yeah, my space is just too small. Like it's just way too small for two people. Like I like doing my videos and stuff, and I just feel like me and my boyfriend don't really have like space to like have our own personal space, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, we have the living room, but like everything is so like intertwined to the point where like you don't really have personal space. So that's one of the reasons. There's obviously other reasons because usually people don't give up their apartment, but I just feel like the most important thing for me is moving because I want a better situation for myself. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend if you are looking for a better life, if you're looking for a better quality of life, if you want to improve your mental health, if you want to start over with your life, move to a new city. It doesn't necessarily have to be Houston, but definitely try, a different environment to see if that really enhances your mental because it's done wonders for me. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I feel so much happier with myself. I feel way more confident. I feel way more like in tuned because I'm not having to listen to sirens and fucking drill music all day. Love New York down. I'm never gonna sit here and act as if New York is not the place to be. Like I've been watching everybody for Fashion Week for the past week, and I'm fucking jealous. Like I'm just gonna straight up say I'm jealous because it's just like I wish I could do shit like that because Texas ain't got that, and I guess that's always gonna be like it's always gonna keep me in the comparison mode where I'm like, well, New York got all these cool ass events or they got all these fine ass people or they got all these cool ass people, but like I'm in Texas. So it's just like, how can I bring the energy that I want? Not necessarily I can't do everything because New York is a one of a kind place. You could literally go anywhere in the world, but New York is a one of a kind place. Like down to the food, the people, the culture, everything. But I feel like in order for me to find a balance, I have to either bring what I want to see here or I also can just travel more, travel whenever I'm just tired of people or I'm tired of Texas and just go somewhere else. Like it's never that serious.
If you see me, holla at me. I'm never too ill to say what up. Like it's not that serious.
Because it is never that serious. Honestly, like you have options. Either you pay $2,000 in rent and stay in New York to keep the vibe or keep the energy, or you move somewhere else where you can live somewhere more peaceful and then choose to come to New York where you feel like it. I'm going to choose option 2 because personally I feel like having the option to leave is always my favorite thing. Like I'm always ready to go. But one thing about me, I love a peace of mind. I love, having a calm environment to coexist in, and I love being able to do a lot of things with my partner no matter where I am. I could be in the middle of nowhere. I still want to be able to have fun activities to do with my partner. To the fact that that's something that I could do here, as well as meet really cool women, to be able to experience what Texas culture is like. It's fun to me. Like, I feel like it's an environment that I've never experienced before. And even though I moved here in 2018, I want to say 95% of the shit that I'm doing now is not the things that I did at that time, because I was like, what, like 22? Like, I feel like when you get older, you have a different, like, zest for life, a different lust for life. Like, you want different shit. So I just feel like it's just a different energy now. And I think I'm more particular about what I want. Even with my career, like, now I know exactly what type of, career that I want to go into. I know how I want to go about it. I don't think that a year ago I knew that type of stuff. I just needed a job. I needed a apartment. I needed a friend. You understand? Like, I just wanted very generalized things. But now, because I've been here, I've experienced, I've, went through the ups and downs of being here, I've learned to really be more specific. Like, even when I first moved here, I wasn't in great standing with my parents, and now I'm able to speak to them. Well, my mom, my real mom, and my stepfather. Like, I wasn't speaking to them when I first moved here, but I think now that I have grown and really adapted an understanding of just being a real bitch, because we're always gonna circle back around to being a real ass bitch. Like, I have learned to really be more transparent about what I want and how it can make the environment and also the relationship better. Like, I'm never gonna pitch something to someone and not have a reason as to why I'm saying it. Like, I know what I want, so it just makes the interactions way more fulfilling, because it's like I'm coming in with solutions and requests. Like, so yeah.